There's breaking news tonight in Portland, Oregon, and I don't usually share breaking news, but this is good news that I think a lot of us in Portland have been holding our breath for. So the temporary restraining order that was keeping the National Guard out of Portland and out of Oregon was set to expire tonight. And I know a number of my mutuals were sharing concerns about it, like what's going to happen. As of about 45 minutes ago, Judge Immergut blocked Donald Trump from sending any National Guard troops into Portland for the next week or so until she issues her final decision. A lot of folks were worried if this expired tonight that Trump was immediately going to send in the National Guard. And now we have this new ruling extending the TRO. Let's not forget that Judge Immergut, who initially ruled to block not only Oregon Guard troops, but also California and any Guard troops from any state being utilized inside Oregon, her ruling was held up as being very well reasoned, very credible. She is a Trump-appointed judge. I know that Donald Trump and the Republicans, they love to be like activist liberal judges. She's a Trump-appointed judge. And the Ninth Circuit panel that overturned her initial ruling was 2 Trump-appointed judges and another judge. And the 2 it was a split ruling, right? 2 versus 1. And these 2 judges, their ruling was so bad, it was dragged so hard by other members of the Ninth Circuit, including this judge, loads and loads of legal scholars. And then we found out late last week that the evidence that they used to substantiate their ruling, the testimony, the numbers that were filed by Donald Trump's Department of Justice were not true. Of course, the DOJ called it errors, but they fucking lied to the court in sworn testimony. And the 2 Trumper judges based their ruling claiming that Donald Trump could use the National Guard in our state. They based it on those numbers that we now know are not true. They are false. So yeah, I would love to see what's going to come out of that, but we are now seeing that ruling being reviewed. And now Judge Immergut is saying, no, the TRO is going to be extended. I'm not going to allow Trump to put troops into Oregon in advance of the final ruling. To quote here from the Oregonian, Immergut intends to issue her final decision by the end of the day on Friday, but her preliminary injunction signaled that she's anticipating granting a permanent injunction by the end of the week. So there you go, Oregon. And I guess my takeaway here is, we don't need to borrow trouble. The things that the regime is doing are bad enough that we don't have to write stories in our head anticipating a worst case scenario. We do not have to pretend that we have a crystal ball in which Donald Trump gets his way every single time. What good does it do us to worry about something that is going to be determined in the future, but we just have to sit and wait on the judge's ruling? This is not me scolding people in my acquaintance who were texting me being really worried about this, or in chats that I'm in where people were really worried. Like, oh no, this TRO is going to expire Sunday night, and then the troops are all going to roll in, and they pretend like it's like game over. What? I don't know. But people get all up in their own anxiety, and what good does that do? How does that help you advance the cause? How does that help you feel empowered to take action? How does that help you actually take action versus just get all spun up and all, at the same time spun up and also shut down, right? Your anxiety spirals up like this, and your motivation you get shrunken into yourself. You get afraid to act. You become frozen with despair. That's why they call it chilling descent. They want you frozen with fear, paralyzed with what bad things might happen. It's the anticipatory anxiety that gets you every time. So I don't know how to help people. Maybe there's something a little bit broken inside of me because I have a lot of anxieties, but when it comes to what's happening with the regime and what Trump is trying to do, I always think of it as a significant amount of discipline. Maybe it is because I've got some low-key oppositional defiance, but I know that the Trump regime wants me paralyzed. They want me frozen. They want my anxiety to be completely through the roof. They want me sitting here stewing, worrying about what might happen, what worst case scenario might come to pass, rather than I'm going to plan for the best future. I'm going to work to bring about the best possible future. I will not let Donald Trump write the future. I need to get busy writing the future myself. I need to get busy organizing with my neighbors, with my fellow Americans, so that we can write the future together. That's sort of my perspective. That's sort of my view on it, is that I'm not going to give these motherfuckers a single thing that they want. And they want me sweating bullets. They want me stressing out. They want me paralyzed with anxiety. They want me to give up all hope and to despair and to comply and let them steamroll their way over us. And I'm not fucking going to do it. And I really want to encourage you. However, you can access that same kind of fuck you, make me, that same kind of don't tread on me, that same kind of oppositional defiance on behalf of democracy, right? We are choosing to be defiant against fascism on behalf of democracy. We are choosing to say, fuck you, I will not go along, I will not comply, I will not obey to a fascist. We are doing that for the sake of our democracy. We are doing that for the sake of our rights, for our freedom, for our children's future. That has to keep driving us. So if you spent half the day worrying, or you spent the whole weekend worrying about this TRO potentially expiring tonight, I guess I would just ask, consider reflecting on what that got you over the weekend. What else could you have been doing to organize to care for your neighbors who are being targeted by ICE, to feed people who are going hungry because the regime is taking away SNAP benefits, to be organizing for the next mass mobilization effort, right? What could you have been doing with that time that you spent freaking out in your own head, that you spent getting all spun up and all frozen out? And how can you learn from the last couple of days and not do that again, not give Donald Trump that tiny little victory over you? We see that the troops are not going to get deployed this week. We don't know exactly how Judge Immergut is going to rule. We don't know exactly what the Ninth Circuit is going to do. None of that, none of what any of these guys do matter as much as what we choose to do. Just let it be your mantra. It doesn't matter what the regime does. It matters how we react. It doesn't matter so much what choices they make. It matters how we are choosing to organize and to act. This is a race, y'all, right? In many, many ways, this is a race. They are seeking to normalize their fascist agenda, to normalize brutality and oppression, to strip away our rights, to consolidate their power as quickly as they can. And we are in a race to save ourselves. And so we cannot waste time being immobilized, being frozen, being consumed by anxiety. We have to keep pushing forward. We have to keep our eyes on the prize and keep organizing. Right, in permaculture, we say that there's no such thing as waste. Everything is a chance for learning. Everything is a chance for us to hone our tactics. We got to learn from our mistakes. We got to learn from the ways that the regime has been able to needle us a little bit, get a little bit of an advantage. We got to figure out how to shore up our defenses and not repeat that. We want to learn our lessons and take our momentum and keep moving forward. So if you got spun up about this story, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel like I wasted all of this time. Just learn from it and don't be susceptible again. Figure out how to defend yourself. Figure out how to keep your eyes on the prize and keep focused on the work that we need to do. We got a breather until Friday, y'all. We got a breather. No guard troops are coming here. The courts are slowly grinding, and we have a lot that we need to do in Oregon to defend our neighbors, to feed our neighbors, to take care of each other. Lots that we need to do to keep learning skills, distress tolerance skills, de-escalation skills, gray rocking skills, civil disobedience skills, civil resistance skills. You formed that whistle brigade yet? You get together to make those perk bracelets yet? Have you formed your rapid resistance team in your neighborhood yet? Have you taken de-escalation training yet? Have you signed up to go to Maxine Dexter's next town hall yet? Lots to do, y'all. We got lots to do. So take a deep breath and let's keep pushing forward. What we do matters. What we do matters. What the regime does, they're a known quantity. They're using a predictable playbook. Okay, they're going to do their thing. We got to do our thing. We're in this race and we're going to win it.